In this tutorial, I will explain to you how to set up your onboarding for your app. So generally, the onboarding is launched if activated during first startup of your app, but you can also activate it later on in the app menu if customers decide to watch it again later or recheck it again. So actually the onboarding is kind of an HTML gallery where most of the time an image is on top, followed by a topic and a body text, which you can define freely, and you can also set as many steps in here as the dots explain as wanted. So if you want to have 4 onboarding screens or 7, that's totally up to you. Usually you need the image files as mentioned before, the text and colorings and buttons. Please make sure to read the onboarding knowledge base entry in our help desk. If you search for onboarding here in the search field, then this article will surely pop up and you can read the steps necessary. I will show you how to edit the onboarding screen now in my sample app. So let's have a look. Here, if we go to my default folder, you will find the onboarding right on the root level here. And if we enter this, please just make sure to go into the assets folder right away, because the rest of it is not relevant for editing everything. So the first thing to edit is the message JSON. If you open that one, then you can define the skip or done button. These two buttons will only appear on the bottom of the screen. So skip is if you are, let's say, on screen 3 of 5 and you want to skip the onboarding because you already know how it works, then you can define the name of the button here. And the final screen has the close button as you have reached the end of the onboarding, and then you can define another wording here. So that's the first thing. Then you need to define onboarding images here. We usually encourage people to use phone and tablet versions as they display differently on the two devices. So for example, I have a phone version here, which is having the dimensions of a phone, and then a tablet version, which is slightly wider, so that it may be displayed correctly. These namings of the images are used in the onboarding JSON, which I open now. And here you can define all the assets which are displayed on one onboarding page. So again, we remember we had this phone and tablet images. Therefore, I need to put a link in here for phone and tablet if I want to. If you want to use the same one, just use one image and copy the URL to the image for both versions, and then you're good to go. Then you can define a title here and the body text, which explains the screen in more detail. So here in my case I have 3 onboarding screens. If you want to have an additional one, then you just need to copy this area here and a comma, and there you go. Now I have 4 onboarding screens available. I would then need to change the images here, and then we can edit this. So the last thing to check is the style JSON, where I can set the accent color. This is, as we can see in the screen here, for example, in my onboarding screen here, it's black, but let's say I want a different color. This is kind of a blue. I can set the accent color here. And this is mainly how you create an onboarding screen for your app. After you have set up everything, just make sure to zip your default folder and upload it to your app again. Thank you.